Jamie at RingIQ TV, proudly sponsored by Goldbank London. Today I'm delighted to be joined by the one, the only, Brian Bomac. How you doing, mate?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Doing pretty good.
How's it been adjusting, coming back over to the UK? How are you finding it?
Oh, man, it's okay over here. It's always raining and stuff like that, cloudy, you know, so.
Are you missing the sun at the moment, obviously, you're from America?
Not really. It's cold. Snow about to be on the ground, so I'm kind of used to it right now.
Nice. What do you say is the main difference from here to America? You know, you've obviously come here a few times now. What do you say you find the biggest adjustment and biggest difference?
I really don't look at it like that. You know, try to look at it like that. Just look at the fighter. Just make sure, pay attention to the fighter.
Nice. Going into the fight, firstly I want to talk about obviously the big fight this weekend, Eubank Jr. versus Benn, the rematch. How's everything going?
Everything's going as planned so far.
Right. You know, the first fight was obviously such a war. Did you guys prepare for a fight like that, for a war? Did you think it's going to be a more kind of one-sided bout?
Well, that's up to the fighter to want to get in there and go like that again. You know, as a trainer, you want to try to eliminate all those mistakes that he did going into the fight. So hopefully he has his mindset is to go in there and let me relax and box the shit out of this motherfucker.
Oh, of course. Obviously in the first fight, that jab was really kind of what won him the fight. He stuck behind that jab well. Is that something that you've been working on again this time around?
Well, you know, I ain't gonna put everything out there. You know, I'm just saying that we're mentally ready, though. You know.
No. Oh, nice. Obviously, you've worked with Chris now for a couple of his fights. How do you find your personal relationship with him outside of boxing?
I think he's a cool dude, man. A real cool dude. Once you get to know him, he really laid back. You know, really don't say too much. He's all about his business. You know, that's what I like about him. And from first meeting until now, you know, he's opened up a little bit more. But after just being with him a couple of years, he's just who he is.
Do you feel like, because I feel like from the outside looking in, there's been a big change in Chris. Do you feel like seeing that as a coach as well?
Well, from the first fight that I worked with him to now, yeah, I think it's a bigger change now. You know, he's matured a lot going into about his boxing now than he was when I first got to him. So, which is really good for him.
So I was going to say that I feel like in the, you know, since you've been with him, we've seen a sharper Eubank, a more patient Eubank. You know, is there differences in the camp that you run with him, or is it just kind of your relationship? He's got more trust.
I think he trusts me. I think he trusts me a little bit more, and plus we got some more time to work. Cause last time we was working with 5 weeks. This time we damn near almost 2 months. So, which is good, and you know, just knowing him, how he trains, and now he's over here in the UK. I'm getting much more than what I got last camp.
And during that first fight as well, obviously it's such a big rivalry, the family history. Did you feel that in the camp the first time round, or?
Well, I wasn't with him the first fight. As far as Benn and Eubank, we had other obligations, so we couldn't make it.
I mean, just like from the outside looking in, sorry. Like, did you kind of feel the rivalry, like especially this time round? Is that rivalry still there?
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I didn't pay no attention to the fight because I was getting ready with Keyshawn Davis for his title fight.
Yeah, no, of course. Obviously, now we're going into the second fight. What do you really think is going to be the difference that's going to make him win the fight again? Obviously, the first fight was quite a close fight. What's going to be that key deciding factor that's going to really put the stamp on ending the rivalry?
Winning that first fight. I think winning that first fight is going to be what's going to separate itself from Conor. You know, like I said, when I first came over here, I think it's going to be a little bit easier for him.
Of course. Do you think there's a mindset shift this time? Because obviously the first time around, you're no longer the hunters, you're the hunted, having won that first fight. Do you think there's a difference in mindset going into the second one?
I can see the difference. I can see the, you know, the fire that he has in his eyes, that he really wants to put a stamp on it this time.
Do you think this time around, is there a rehydration clause this time around with this fight, or?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I haven't really been paying no attention to that in camp. I let those experts that handle him after the workout, I let them pay attention to that. I just want to make sure that he's ready to go, and after he get hydrated and whatever he needs to do to get back to where he at normally, that's when I step back in.
No, of course. Obviously, you've been with Crawford when he went up to fight Canelo, and you're watching Chris kind of maintain this weight. I know you said you let the other people do that. Do you see the difference in camp, though, where obviously they're going up compared to kind of maintaining a lower weight?
Each camp is different. Each fighter is different. So, you know, Crawford is a whole another beast than what Chris is, you know. And plus, they from two different parts of the world, you know. And, you know, Chris been at this weight, I'm sure, probably his whole career. And, you know, Crawford is Crawford. Crawford move up, move down, move up, whatever he wants to do, and then be able to annihilate the competition.
No, of course, and that's what he done to Canelo, isn't it?
Exactly, the whole world's seen it.
Well, just back to Eubank as well. Obviously, he's with him for the Smith fight, the rematch. Do you feel like him having that rematch experience has an edge over Conor Benn?
That's a good question that you asked that, man, because you can see the difference as he in this camp than I've seen in previous fight what I had with him. That, you know, that I say it's the confidence level that he have going into this fight.
Of course. Obviously, going into this fight, Eubank fought like he had a point to prove, obviously, with the legacy of the fight. And then now everyone expects him kind of to win that second fight. How do you handle that pressure of winning the first fight, going into a rematch, compared to, obviously, the Smith fight where he'd lost and then come back?
Well, by winning the first fight, it gives you a little bit of cushion, you know, as far as the fighter goes, when the way your mind is set. Once you know you beat him, it's a little bit. You got this little bit extra push to say, "Oh, I can beat this guy again." You know.
Do you feel like there's kind of trying to keep Eubank focused? Because obviously in the fight, you know, Benn's going to come out hot. He done it in the first fight, and you know this time he's now got the man with a point to prove. How do you kind of keep Eubank calm down and toned in the build up to something like this?
I think what it is after winning the first fight, you have that little extra confidence with you once you go in there. Oh, I can beat him again, regardless of what he brings to the table. I beat him once, I can beat him again.
Of course. And do you think obviously last time out, it looked like Benn come out quite emotional when he was fighting. He looked like he's fighting angry. Do you feel like that's kind of going to play a factor again, where Eubank's going to be more surgical with what he does?
No, we'll see, man. We'll see. We don't know which Conor Benn is going to come out there. Is he say that he's going to come out there a little bit more relaxed and box, or does he switch that up at that moment the bell rings? Is like he got a point to prove, because he do. You know, what's coming? What's going to step out that ring? So, just as a fighter, just be prepared for anything that he brings to the table.
In the corner, how do you adjust for that, like mid-fight, when you know you don't know what Benn's going to come out on fight night? How do you prepare yourself to, okay, if it's this version, if it's this version, but for in between rounds, how do you adjust talking to the fighter?
It's all in the preparation of why you in camp. You know, you tell him this and you'll tell him that. You'll work on this and you'll work on that. And then once you figure out what type of fighter he's got, you meet inside the ring, then you'll make adjustments to that in the corner. The most important thing is just to stay relaxed and go back to what you know. Go back to what you've been working on for the last 7-8 weeks.
No, of course. And if Eubank does win this one the way that you do predict, what does this do for his career? We're talking about, you know, legacy, proving that he's more than just his father's son. What do you think this does for his career after this fight?
Well, let's rephrase that. When he wins this fight, you know, that puts the nail in the coffin for him, and for the rivalry from his father to him, the two sons, and then as they move forward in the division, I think he'd be one or two in the division. So whoever got the belt at 160, you got to notice Chris is coming.
Do you think a title fight is in the line next when he gets through Saturday?
I'm sure it is. It should be. It should be whoever 160 out there. They should be worried that, you know, some sanctioning body is going to press the issue about giving Chris his title shot.
After the fight being such a war and the amount of damage Chris took, and the whole palaver with the ambulance not getting out and him being in hospital, can you tell as a coach when a fighter is damaged goods and when he's taken too much damage in his career?
Oh, definitely. You see it in the gym. You definitely see it in the gym. You see the breakdown of a fighter that doesn't happen anymore.
I know obviously you can't say, but I'm guessing you're going to say Chris is looking good in camp this time around, and that damage hasn't had an effect.
I will tell you this, man, and I tell every fighter this, coaches, y'all listen to it. You want to have bad days in the gym. You don't want to have the perfect camp. The perfect camp means something is missing. Those bad days are the days that keep the camp grounded. Like I told Chris one time, it's great. Don't worry. That's part of the process. But we know what the ending is going to come out to be. We know where the end is at. So from the beginning to the end, as long as you stay the course and get to the end of the fight and win it, those days are those bad days. You will respect them days, because for the simple fact that you're not invincible. You put on the pants the same way your opponent do. So stay grounded and look to the end. At the light at the end of the tunnel is where the reward is at. So the good days, your bad days, your mediocre days, the days that you don't feel like going there to the gym, it's all part of the process.
No, just talking about the mindset off of that, obviously Chris Eubank has always been a man with a great mindset. But going into this fight, you've been with him long enough now to really understand him, his personality, his work ethic, his mindset. He's confident. Sometimes people can call him a bit arrogant, but it seems like you've kind of found that perfect balance with him. What is it that you've changed in the camp to kind of bring that out of him?
Nothing, man. Just settle him down a little bit. Settle him down and use his attributes that he has inside of his boxing that he needs to use to be able to win the fight.
No, of course, because I think early on, a lot of people wondered if Bomac and Eubank could actually work together, two very big personalities, both used to being in charge. But it seems like now there is that mutual trust between yourselves.
Man, you got to have that trust. You have to have that trust in your trainer to be able to get you through the fight and coach you through the fight and train you to be prepared to win the fight.
And I have to ask, of course, what do you think the prediction is this weekend? What's the final prediction?
We already know what the prediction is. Chris already got his number.
Of course. Bomac McIntyre, one of the sharpest minds in boxing, guiding the spawn of sport's most talk about fighters in another high-stakes moment. The first fight was a war. The rematch promises to be even bigger. No matter what happens, when Bomac's in the corner, the game plan runs deep and the belief runs strong and the work has already been done. Bomac, appreciate your time, my brother.